So would you please now put your hands together for Caroline Glen.
Thank you very much, Pam. And thank you, Virginia. And thank you, everyone, for coming today. Get this microphone right. Please tell me if you can't hear me. Now, we're going to go in, we're in now for a lovely treat of poetry. It's my passion, and I do want to share it with you, and I do hope you'll enjoy it. I've chosen poems that I think that are beautiful in line and construction and not obscure, obtruse. So I'm sure that you'll love these poems that I've chosen. Well, these are poems I'm talking about other people's. I don't know about mine, but anyway, I'll put a few of mine in, so it'll be a little bit of a mixture. I looked at first when I came in at the red shoes over there. I suppose you noticed that painting of the red shoes. And I was fortunate that I went to my book. I'd forgotten, but I have a poem on red shoes. Now, a little note that I'll make here is that I have to read it. It's been quoted. A part of all art is to make silence. Speak the things left out in a painting, the note withheld in music, the void in architecture. All are necessary and as active as the utterance itself. So that's something to think about with all these beautiful paintings that we have here. Often it's the things that aren't said that's left out in the painting. And I just mention this here at this moment. A rewarding poem is distinguishable by the atmosphere it creates. So that relates to paintings as well as the written word. I'll go back to this little poem called Red Shoes. She dances a square of sidewalk on red shoes, buckled, pointy-toed. In shadow and street light they shine like drops of Christ-remembered blood. With firecrackers spinning the sky, she dances the new year in by our coffee shop's singing jukebox. She swings the panels of her black dress, flings clouds of grey hair, her red-bloused arms reaching. People dine on the sidewalk. Some take her hands, dance, finish eating, walk away. She dances. When briefly she sits, we bring her water, offer her food. Then on her red shoes, shining like drops of Christ-remembered blood, she dances. It's just a little one taken from Broadbeach. This poem is taken, it is written by Conrad Aiken, who is a professor in America, and it's the most beautiful poem to share with you, and it's about, there's a painting over there about the table of food, and this is this man writing about his beloved wife who has died, and he looks at the table of food, the cutlery, the crockery, everything about it, and is longing for her. Music I heard. Music I heard with you was more than music, and bread I broke with you was more than bread. Now that I am without you, all is desolate. All that was once so beautiful is dead. Your hands once touched this table and this silver, and I have seen your fingers hold this glass. These things do not remember you, beloved, and yet your touch upon them will not pass. For it was in my heart that you moved among them, and blessed them with your hands and with your eyes. And in my heart they will remember always. They knew you once, oh beautiful and wise. So it's a lovely little poem, and I thought I'd share with you. This is a draft taken, have you heard of Stephen Spender, a poet of about 50, 60 years ago? And it's taken from this notebook, and there's one painting here about with a fish on it, and it's so beautifully expressive of a woman bound by home and her children, other dreams that she may have had once, all gone. She is in a domestic situation, that's where she will stay. And this is what Stephen says. Her eyes are gleaming fish, caught in a nervous face, as if in a net. Her hair is wild and fair, haloing her cheeks, like a fantastic flare of southern sun. There is madness in her cherishing her children. Sometimes, perhaps a single time in years, her wandering fingers stoop to arrange some flowers. Then in her hands, her whole life stops and weeps. And that's one by Stephen. And this is another one I've chosen for you by an English poet. And he was a professor, John Fuller. And it's a lovely little sketch of a way a man can be at different times in his life. He is a drunk, leaning companionably around a lamp-post, or doing up with intermittent concentration another drunk's coke. He is a polite but devoted Valentino, cheek to cheek, forgetting the next step. He is feeling the pulse of the fat lady, or cutting her in half. But close your eyes, and it is sunset at the edge of the world. It is the language of dolphins, the growth of tree roots, the heartbeat slowing down. This is one I'd like to read you for all of us, because let us think that we all want to feel like this. It's a word from a song. I don't know who wrote the song. It's called See Me Beautiful. See me beautiful, look for the best in me. It's what I really am and all I want to be. It may take some time, it may be hard to find, but see me beautiful. See me beautiful each and every day. Could you take a chance? Could you find a way to see me shining through in everything I do? And see me beautiful. Now, this is one I recently wrote. It's about a pandanus tree that survived the fire on the eastern hill at Burleigh National Park, where I go walking sometimes. So this is a recent one, and it's a little bit long, but it's how I like to use a lot of metaphor and simile in my work to make it come alive, sing, do whatever it has to do. Red Death, Burleigh National Park. Can you hear all right? It's okay. A thread of grass, earth's faithful stitch. It had dreamt with sea and sky, had lent and sang with the wind on the green belt that wrapped the girth of the eastern hill. But the sun and a glass shard betrayed it, scorched it red, threw it to the air. A sea wind caught and blew it into filaments of streaming aurora, red, orange and yellow. It shouldered them high to the hill's chest. They rushed headless over the grass, the bush, the she-oaks. They hissed with dragon breath. They fled legless up the she-oaks' skirts. Their names were aflame. Their family was fire. The wind changed mood, played touch and run, chased them back to the hill's belly, its thighs, again ripped their clothes, break their bodies, seared their skins, peeling them into brown blackness. They licked to red death the fibre of bush, red licked the trees' leaves, tongue licked the trees' bodies, legs and arms, bleeding, blackened, left them waiting for death, alone, not speaking, looking at nothing, reaching for nowhere. They spread their burnt flesh through sky into black-bowled smoke, curling. In this wild chase, this rainbow inferno, one pandanus refused death.